This week's summer reading theme is the hero's journey. And one thing we know about heroes, they always have something to fight against, whether it's dragons or giants. Oh, last week we talked about dragons, so let's talk about giants this week's. Mankind has always had giants or some other monster to explain the frightening unknown. Evidence of enormous, fearful beasts could be seen in every earthquake, flood, or solar eclipse. In the days before science, it was simple to explain those natural events as the results of a supernatural creature, such as a giant. Fossilized bones of dinosaurs is certainly one way to prove that at one time giants did live on the earth. To ancient cultures, giants were beings that existed before the gods, but were eventually defeated by them. Everybody knew there were immense human-like creatures that once existed. Let's think about things like Stonehenge or the pyramids. How else could those be explained without the help of giants? This picture shows a place in Northern Ireland that's called the Giant's Causeway. In other words, the giants used these big stone steps to get from one island to another. Can you see those? The giants probably moved all those stones there. That'd be a fun place to go, wouldn't it? Giants are even mentioned in the Bible. The book of Genesis says, there were giants in the earth in those days. One famous giant we all know about is Goliath, and David, who fought the giant with a small slingshot. Now it says in the Bible that Goliath was only 9 feet tall. That's not very tall for a giant, but it was certainly way too tall for a man during that time. This picture is the Cyclops. I think you've all heard of that ugly giant with only one eye. Scholars tell us stories of giants from ancient Greek mythology. The term giant refers to gigantes, terrible creatures with bodies of men and the legs or tails of serpents. They were the children of Gaia, the earth god, and Uranus, who was the god of the heavens. The gigantes were often confused with the Greek titans, but they were two different groups of creatures. In the Greek myth, which about the war of the giants, the gigantes revolted against the Olympians. Olympus was the place of war, the war god. And the war god, desperate and bloody. The war was desperate and bloody, but the Olympians finally defeated the gigantes with the help of Hercules, the archer. Most of the gigantes were slain, but many were buried under mountains. And according to the myth, that's why today we have earthquakes and volcanoes. The story of the gigantes was very popular in ancient Greek and Roman cultures, and the defeat of the giants represented the triumph of good over evil and began the age of the Olympian gods led by the mighty Zeus. We probably know more about those gods, don't we? Some of the giants, however, later emerged and built a temple out of human skulls. And the Cyclops, the one-eyed giant who ate men and terrorized the land. But giants also show up in other mythologies, such as the Norse mythology. And here's a picture over here. The Norse thought that the giants were rock giants and forest giants, and they lived in the snowy land that lies in the uttermost shores of the ocean. So that's kind of an interesting story too. And there were also giants in other early cultures, and even today, somehow or another, we still talk about giants. Who's this guy over here in this picture? Well, of course, that's King Kong. How many times has he showed up in movies over the years? And what about other giants? Can you name any of them? What's that one that came out of the ocean? Well, that's enough about giants for today. I'll talk to you next week about another summer reading topic. Bye-bye.